It is 6:01. Call the meeting to order. First order of business, approval of the minutes from December 22nd and the special meeting of January 8th.
So moved.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I will be in favor of aye on the 22nd and abstain from the 8th.
Okay. You got that, Carla?
Yep.
All right. We have a guest today to make a presentation. It's Doug DeVillo, the CEO of Grace Cottage. And I would entertain a motion to take the agenda out of order so that Mr. DeVillo can make his presentation.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. In favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. DeVillo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate your time tonight. I'm coming up on my 3rd anniversary here at Grace Cottage, and one of the things that has been a concern of mine almost from the time I arrived here was the issue of trying to cross the street in front of the hospital on Grafton Road. I'm sure you're familiar with the 30-mile-an-hour posted speed limit here in front of the hospital, and also down in front of the Commons and in front of the Leland and Gray School, and so just that whole area, and then it increases to 35 as you head down towards Brattleboro. But trying to keep cars traveling at a safe speed, particularly in front of the hospital and in front of the school and in front of the Commons, is quite challenging. And because we have the Messenger Valley Pharmacy across from the hospital, and because we have a parking lot across from the Rural Health Clinic.
Mr. DeVillo, can I interrupt you for just a second? One of our members has come on, and I want to get him logged on so he can hear what's going on.
Absolutely.
I'll be right back to you. Irv, is that you?
Yep.
Okay. We have started the meeting, and Mr. DeVillo from the hospital just started his presentation. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Thank you. So I was just talking about the posted speed limit. So the speed limit in front of the hospital, in front of Leland and Gray, is posted at 30 miles an hour, and then it gradually increases as you head down towards the Riverbend Market and heading towards Brattleboro. The speed limit picks up. But having been here now for almost 3 years, and having experienced the fact that we have patients who are parking across from the Rural Health Clinic and using a crosswalk that is basically just a painted area with hashed white lines that designates that it's a crossing area, and a sign that shows that it's a crossing area. That's about the only warning you get, unless you're a law-abiding driver and you purposely slow down to 30 miles an hour, which is the posted speed limit. But I cross the street quite frequently going over to the pharmacy, and I see patients crossing back and forth, and it's amazing how many people drive up and down this part of Grafton Road and really barely slow down. They're coming out of a much higher speed area, heading south, coming into the hospital zone, and they're also coming downhill. So unless they see you in the road and start to brake, it's amazing how many people literally realize at the last minute there's somebody in the street crossing before they hit the brakes. And so the first thing we did was I instructed my plant operations folks to purchase one of those rubber-based crosswalk signs, the kind that you see that you just set on the dividing line in the road in the crosswalk, and it has a striped painted yellow orange background, and it has an image of a stick figure of a person crossing. And it's supposed to give you a little bit more visual cue as to the fact that you're coming onto a crossing area, and give you a cue to slow down. That little portable sign that we purchased lasted about 2 weeks. In that short period of time, it was struck by vehicles about a half dozen times, and ultimately was no longer repairable. So I realized, well, this isn't going to work, because they're literally hitting a sign that's in the middle of the road telling them to slow down, which was, I think, my cue to say to myself, we probably need to do something else. This isn't going to work. So one of the things that struck me as I've been, in Southern Vermont now for, as I said, almost 3 years, and having been at some of the other small, rural towns in the region, the use of the radar speed signs, which is basically a sign that attaches to the existing speed limit signs that shows a radar designated speed for the vehicle that's approaching. So for example, you're coming up the road, you see the sign that says 30-mile-an-hour speed limit area that you're approaching, and then below the 30-mile-an-hour speed limit sign is a slightly smaller sign that displays the speed that you're traveling. So if you're coming upon the 30-mile-an-hour speed sign, and you're going faster than 30 miles an hour, it'll display the speed that you're going. So if you're going 35 miles an hour or 38 miles an hour, it'll tell you how fast you're going compared to the actual speed limit of that area. And I know that they're used quite a bit, not only in Vermont, but in other parts of the country. I know that that the Windham County Sheriff's Office has at least one, if not multiple, of these mobile radar signs that they move around as a way of trying to teach people about the importance of maintaining the proper speed and obeying the speed limit. I know we don't have a lot of police presence in the area, so we don't have a lot of speed traps, where citations are being issued to speeders, which I think is a challenge for us. And I know it's very expensive, and I understand why there's limited coverage for that type of service. And these signs are relatively inexpensive. They cost about $3,000 per sign, not counting the installation costs. And what I would like the select board to consider is allowing Grace Cottage to purchase and have 2 of these radar assist devices added to speed limit signs in our 30-mile-an-hour speed zone right here in the heart of Townshend. And Grace Cottage is willing to pay for the signs and pay for the installation of them, so there'd be no cost to the town to do that. And we'll also maintain them. So if they break or they need service or what have you, or if the solar panel needs replacing or repair, we'll take care of that as well. So we'll maintain them. But I think that having that type of visual reminder for people as they're coming into this area that they're actually going faster than they're supposed to be going will help people to slow down and give them a little bit more time to react, so that when they do reach the front of the hospital and they do reach the crossing area, not only for Grace Cottage, but also for other residents of this stretch of the road. You have a consignment shop there. You've got a private practice. Dr. Brickley's office is across the street. They have people crossing. And it also, I think, will help slow people down. So as they come into the speed zone and they head past the hospital and head down towards the school, Leland and Gray, and the elementary school, and the town green, that they're actually going at a safe speed. So that's really what I came here to talk about tonight. I don't want to take a whole lot of your time, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. We started doing some research in terms of where we had to go for approval. We spoke with Mark Pickering, who's the Vermont VTrans District 2 project manager. He gave us some background. He gave us some written requirements in terms of what's allowed and what's not allowed in Vermont. And certainly our intention is to follow all of the requirements of the state and of the district, and make sure that we have, the proper signage that complies. But certainly we don't want to do anything without, your review and your approval, and we hope that you'll give us the green light.
Does anybody
That-
on the board have any questions?
Yeah, that road was, the state done a traffic study on it. And that's what the speed limit is set at from the traffic study. And what are you going to do about all your jaywalkers?
Well, first of all, we're not recommending that the speed limit be changed. So the speed limit is currently posted at 30 miles an hour. We're not saying that it should be slower than that. We're just saying that we would like to have a radar sign that that tells people how fast they're going, so that if they're going faster than 30, they can slow down.
Yeah, but what about all your jaywalkers?
Well, there's nothing I can do about jaywalkers. I know we do have a crossing area that is striped.
I know you do, and I live just up the road, so I know. But there's more people that jaywalk than that use the crosswalk. Because the crosswalk goes across the parking lot and then goes from the parking lot to Valley Messenger's pharmacy.
That's correct.
I know it is. I was on the board when they done that traffic study.
Rob, did you have a comment?
I'm kind of feeling the same way that Irvin has or is. I live right up the road too, and people sail by my house and I follow them right down the road, and I follow them right into the hospital, whether they're working at the hospital or whether they're patients at the hospital or visiting. And the jaywalking is a serious thing too. I don't know. I'm in agreement with Irvin.
Dave?
No, I'm afraid I'm going to have to be in agreement with Irving and Rob as well.
The only concern that I have about it is sometimes all of those flashing type things create a distracted driving issue. And in such a small area, I think you would have to have some more proof that it was actually necessary to do it. That's my biggest concern, because if that thing starts flashing in somebody's peripheral vision and somebody steps out in front of them, jaywalking or whatever, and they get hit, they still got hit. And I'm not sure sometimes those flashing lights, flashing signs are as helpful as maybe they could be or should be. And I'm not sure what the answer is.
The requirements that we received from V-Trans District 2 says specifically that you're not allowed to have flashing signs. So
Okay.
The signs that we would be installing would be non-flashing signs that would give you the immediate speed, locked in and not flashing. So there wouldn't be any visual dynamics to them at all. Those are not permitted in Vermont to begin with.
Douglas,
Yes, sir.
question for you. Do you ever go through Williamsville, Vermont, or Williamsville, the village in Newfane? Because
Yes.
they have those signs and they do flash if you're going too fast.
I
Saxon's
know.
River has the same flashing signs if you're going too fast.
I actually have the requirements right here in front of me. And so those signs that are flashing there in Williamsville, they're illegal in Vermont. They're not permitted in Vermont. And we're not going to use anything that flashes.
But I got a question too, another question.
Go ahead, Herb.
Who gave the hospital permission to set them two blinking lights up?
I do think that we did, didn't we?
Yeah, we brought those to the select board for approval.
Yes,
That's funny. I've been on the select board since last March and I never heard of it.
No, it was a project that
It was
Crystal
actually
worked
before
on.
that.
It was before that. You were not on the board that year.
Well, they didn't put them up until after that.
Well, that we gave them the okay at that point.
All right. Because I know that anything within a 50-foot right of way, that's 25 foot usually, 24'9" on each side of the center line, is without permission, they have no right.
It sounds like they got permission, and those
Yeah,
are
no,
all
I'm not
set.
arguing that. That's why I was questioning it, because I never heard of it.
Okay, so I guess the question would be, do you want time to consider the proposal, discuss it? Do you want to vote on it? What would you like to do?
Can I just
I'm
make,
not in,
can I just
I'm
make-
not in favor of it.
Go ahead, Rob.
I didn't say anything. That was
Oh, I
Irvin.
thought you did.
So this is Doug. Can I just
Oh.
make one more comment, please?
Yep, sure.
Mr. Sherwood, or Mr. Lake. So I guess my only appeal to you is, you know, we understand that the situation is not perfect, and we don't have a lot of control over people who jaywalk. Rob, you mentioned that, you know, you follow people down that, you know, come flying down and they're coming to the hospital. We're trying to do the right thing here, and we're willing to spend, you know, quite a bit of money to try and improve the situation to get people to slow down. I think that's a step in the right direction. You know, suggesting that we need to bring more evidence that there's a problem suggests that the select board would prefer, I mean, for someone to actually get struck by a speeder before we can then say, you know what, maybe we have a problem. Maybe we should have done something about this or should do something about this. I don't know what evidence we could present to you other than, you know, to take photographs with a jugs gun to show you how many people, you know, speed in the course of an 8-hour day. I mean, I could put somebody out there for a day and have them take pictures, but you know,
Take pictures of the jaywalkers too.
well, we can do that too. If we had police officers who can issue citations, we could give tickets to the jaywalkers, but we don't have police officers. I think this is an accident waiting to happen, and you know, unfortunately, you know, I wanted to be here today to go on record as saying we think that we're not doing enough to try and slow people down and remind them that you know, they're driving too fast in this area and it's dangerous and someone's going to get hurt, and then it's really going to be too late to do something at that point, because one person, you know, hit by a moving automobile is one person too many. And I've been here 3 years and I'm surprised it hasn't happened yet. And it's an accident waiting to happen.
Any other input from the board? Okay, so I ask again, is it something that you want to consider, or you want an up or down vote on it at this point?
Let's do an up or down vote.
Okay, then I'd entertain a motion to accept the proposal of the Grace Cottage Hospital, and the second would be to go into discussion, and then we can do the
Second.
actual vote. Okay, so a motion's been made and seconded to accept the proposal. There is the discussion, further discussion on the table. Is there any other comment to add to the record with this at this point? Hearing none. All those in favor of allowing Grace Cottage to install those signs at this time, signify by saying aye. Those no?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
I'm sorry that the board's voted it down at this point. You're welcome to bring it back at some point in the future, certainly. My only
No,
suggestion,
that's
to you-
okay. We appreciate your time. Thank you for your consideration.
well, my only suggestion to you as far as proof is if you can demonstrate radar evidence that there is a speeding problem there, I think that would help your case more. That's the best I can give you, at least from my perspective.
Well, can I get a sense from the board as to whether that would make a difference? Because I don't get the feeling that, I get the feeling that the lack of support for this strategy goes beyond the belief that people, are speeding out, in
Okay.
front of the hospital.
Then we'll query the rest of the board. Anybody have any input about bringing it back? Okay,
Just not totally impressed or not interested in the fact of whether it blinks, flashes, does whatever it does. Those signs to me, I'm not really that interested in. And to be honest with you, Douglas, I think talking with the state police might be a better thing, and getting, some people to sit there and see who gets in trouble with speeding and sailing through there. They are there now and then, but they're not there very much. And, I've lived here, in June will be 19 years that I've owned my house, and I've been around the area for a couple days too. And I don't know, I'm a little skeptical of whether the signs are going to work for the people that don't want them to work, or not that they don't want it, that aren't going to pay attention to them more than anything else. So,
Okay. Well, we're not gonna do a whole lot of work on it then, because it doesn't sound like there's much interest in this. I appreciate your time, and thank you for letting me speak.
thank you
Have a nice evening.
Thank you.
as well.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're turned back to the top of the agenda. We have some additions. I guess the Snow Guide, Snow Guild, Snowmobile Club has a letter that they've submitted. There's 2 liquor licenses to entertain. One a second class for Harmonyville and one a first class for Big Picture Farms. But we'll move, for now, we'll move on to the warrants. Rob?
I make a motion to pay warrants. Number 1 in payroll in the amount of $12,311.08. Number 2, payroll tax in the amount of $5,661.04. Number 3, payroll in the amount of $1,191.98. Number 4, payroll tax in the amount of $440.78. Number 5, the general fund in the amount of $11,587.34. Number 6, highway fund in the amount of $2,406.43. And number 7, the equipment fund in the amount of $9,477.66, for a total of $43,076.31.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to pay 7 warrants, and it's been seconded. Do we have any discussion on any one of those warrants? Hearing none. All those in favor of paying warrants, 7 warrants in a total of $43,076.71, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Hold
Aye.
on. I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
71 cents or 31 cents?
31 cents. Sorry, Rob. It's worth $43,076.31.
Second.
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 All those in favor? with all the seconds.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, let's go back up to the top of the list here. Highway report.
Well, the big thing to talk about is the rainstorm we had on Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. It did cause different levels of damage on 17 different roads in town. One road had to be closed for a day. That was State Forest Road in the area of the state park. The worst road in town was Winslow Drive. So we did have to make some repairs on Saturday, the day after Christmas, and the week after Christmas, New Year's week, we made a lot of shoulder repairs is what needed to be made. And until things thaw out, we won't be able to finish up until spring with the rest of the minor damage. All the major damage has been at least repaired so the roads are passable.
Okay. Nothing else?
No, really, that's it. We're in a lull right now, so we've been doing some maintenance. We received the cab for the Kubota tractor. We installed that, and just getting ready for maybe something this weekend.
Okay. So we'll move on to the town clerk's report. In your package are the counter funds and activity. And in the treasurer's report, it says available balance $836,007, and in the checking account $28,808.02. Correspondence. There's a thing here listed on the Negro Brook issue. And there was an article posted, and this particularly comes from Charlie Marchant and the Historical Society. There's an article in the Commons that portrays action and inaction of the Townshend Selectboard and other entities and the Historical Society about responding to the name change. The article is wholeheartedly inaccurate. As far as I'm aware, and from the briefing that I got from Charlie on this, we have never been called or asked a question about renaming this. The only comment that I've heard so far is that in general, we've been in support of the Historical Society, which has said that they want the renaming of that brook to be in accordance with somebody that actually has some tie to Townshend and an accurate name. And that is the only holdup. And the Historical Society is working with the State Library Board, who is the one responsible for naming waterways in Vermont. So that particular article, the biggest thing to take from it is it is inaccurate in its portrayal. Any questions?
I have a question. I'm Rob's wife, sorry.
Go ahead, no problem.
Did the select board receive anything? Because I am the one, I print out everything for Rob.
Yeah.
But I did not see anything come through that was inviting us to that meeting. And supposedly it was sent to the town hall. So it was not passed off to the select board.
As far as I'm aware, and the only notice that we got identified a brook in Franklin County, Vermont, that had the same name. And then they said it was posted in the Bennington Reformer. So that's not legal notice of anything. If they can't even get the right county, it's not legal notice of anything. And that's the only thing I've heard of.
All right, I did ask Charlie and he said that there was a notice that was sent to the town hall. And I said, well, I did not see anything come through to pass on to my husband of the actual meeting.
And we didn't get anything moving forward.
And that they are supposed to, they have to notify us of the hearing 30 days in advance. And he says that they claim that they notified us. So I don't know who they notified for the town.
Like I said, Christina, the only notice that we got was an email that was addressed to, I'm not even sure it was addressed to town, it might have been, but we received an email that identified this brook being in Franklin County, Vermont. And that the notice,
Okay.
and that the notice was posted in the Bennington Reformer, which as far as I know, doesn't
Okay.
exist.
And he suggested that maybe somebody represent the select board at the next library meeting, if, whenever it is. He's not sure if they'll do a special one or it won't be till April.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well from Charlie. Okay.
Yeah.
Any other comment about that issue? Okay, so we'll move on.
Yeah,
Go
why
ahead,
don't they
Chip.
name it somebody was lived in that area instead of somebody that lived off somewhere else?
Well, from what I understand, Irv, the name that they have come up with, that these people who have brought this thing forward is a person that it was the wife of a Civil War soldier that was awarded the property. This is some of the information that I've gotten, but the name that they're giving is not the name of the person that is portrayed in the records of the town of Townshend. So that's where the hangup is.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. As far as I know, that name didn't show up in any records anywhere.
I thought that we gave the good grace of the Freedom Brook.
She lived in, on Acton Hill, in Acton, not in Townsend.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
And when
So
she
that's-
lived up there, her name was different than
And
what they're proposing.
I think that they're not going to use Freedom Brook anymore. They're only going to use a name that is historically accurate at this point in time. And I
But
also said that they turned them away until they asked the indigenous people of the area, indigenous people, for permission to change the name first.
Yeah. Yeah, that was an issue up north. That was an issue up north where they went through this whole exercise and then they forgot to include the indigenous people for their input when they sent this thing out. So,
well, see, Acton was a separate town at one time.
yeah.
It
Yep.
was when Susanna Toby lived there.
Yeah, right.
So that, from my perspective, and of course you can all weigh in on that. I support what the work that the Historical Society has done, and what they're saying about it needs to be accurate, because we don't need to go through this. I don't want somebody else.
Yeah, no, I support that too.
Okay. Any other comment about that? We'll move to the next thing. Okay. COVID-19, everything that I can tell you is on the news. The numbers are up. There's a spike based on Christmas and the New Year's holidays. There's probably going to be another more severe spike in our future. They're rolling out vaccine as fast as they can. The government is, whether it's going to be the new government or the one that's sitting there now, is supposedly going to release all the doses to the different states. But that's what they say today. You don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay. There was a bid presented. There's actually two bids presented that I have on that tractor for the that we're selling as surplus equipment. The first one is from Nelson King of Grafton. He is bidding $100 on the equipment, and he has some other information that isn't relevant to what we're talking about that I'll pass on to Steve, or after we finish with these bids, we can mention that. And the second one is from, it looks like Robbie German. He is bidding $500 for the surplus equipment. I'll entertain a motion to accept. And who?
Moved.
Sure. Sherwin?
Yeah.
I'm wondering if you should read the Nelson King in its entirety, because with the trade, I'm thinking like I guess how I read it, it might have seemed like he was.
No, the way I read it is he's asking $2,800 for the equipment that he wants to sell to the highway department.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I mean, I can't
Sorry about that.
do that. So which one are we moving on? Mr. Jamon? I'm
Well,
assuming $500?
first things first, didn't we have a minimum bid of $500?
We did.
All right.
As far as I know, we did.
We did.
So the only
We
one that
did.
met the minimum bid was Robbie Jamon. Are you still?
I make a motion to accept Robbie Tremont's bid of $500 for the John Deere tractor.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Mr. Jamon can have the tractor. And Steve, I will forward this to you. He's got some piece of equipment, a propane boiler or something that he thinks the highway department might want.
Now that
It's
John
not one of
Deere
his old stills, is it?
What's that?
It's not one of his old stills, is it?
Never know. Never know.
that
Okay.
John Deere comes with a bumper warranty, right, Sherwood?
A bumper warranty. You
Yeah,
bump
when the
it out
bumper
the door.
leaves the yard, the warranty's over.
How about none whatsoever?
Sounds good.
Okay.
It's an
so,
as-is thing.
um,
The,
Okay, so we've got the health officer's report. Any,
bill of sale should say as is.
okay, Carla, would you make sure that it's taken care of?
Yep.
As is
Bill of
sale to Mr. Germon. All right, so onward and upward. We are looking.
Steve, I'll email that
forward.
to you tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Apparently there's a report from the health officer who reports that a gentleman got bit by his own dog and went to the hospital, and he is reporting no action needed.
Got bit by his own dog?
It looks like bit by his own dog.
Yeah, that's what, way I understand it. He got bit by his own dog.
Yeah, and he apparently went to Grace Cottage Hospital and they filled out I guess they have a compulsory animal bite report. It was forwarded directly to the health officer. So the health officer has marked it no action necessary. Okay. Social service recommendations. Where in the world is that? We're still in progress. I mean, I'm not sure that the social services recommendations are ready for rolling out, but they're part of the package that went out today. There are a couple of them that are still outstanding. So, I mean, I'm not sure that we really need to discuss anything there. I think if you look them over out of your packets, and if we need any commentary to come up, we can bring that up at the next meeting when we button this up. The same thing with the town warning. Carla, is the town warning draft in the package?
I think that I inadvertently didn't include it.
Okay, would you
I
make
take
sure
it.
that it goes out tomorrow, please?
Well, I
And-
did send you a copy just now and I sent Rob a copy. So
Okay.
you should have one right in your email.
Okay.
I may have printed it for Steve and Irv, but honestly, I don't know if I took it out before I printed them up. Before I,
Well,
have
there's I got one question
Yeah.
yes,
on that, Carla.
yes.
You've got, right up on top, it says you have to elect a person in charge, and then down below you got it again, which shouldn't be.
Okay, I apologize. I did the
moderator
things down
type.
below with Anita, and It said
That,
that-
you look in the town report and it doesn't go that way. You already elected one.
Well, it's still in draft form, Irv. So it may be.
All right,
just
no,
a-
that's
Yeah.
just the question I'm bringing up.
Yeah, no problem. No, I just want to let you know that it's still very much in draft form, and we're all going to get a chance to review it before it gets published.
We've got to do a lot of figuring too to come up with the income as well as the taxes.
Yep, I agree.
General.
All right, so we're still in progress with that. We're moving along with that. There's one thing that to bring up along with that particular item is the town reports. Instead of worrying about a bid because the timelines are accelerated so much with this Australian ballot, I instructed Carla to get 2 price quotes for the cost of printing the town reports. Those, I believe both of them have come in, and it'll just be your pleasure as to which one we accept to move forward with.
But you take like your online town meeting, you've got to have your moderator.
Yes, all of that stuff, nothing changes there.
Yeah.
Nothing changes
No,
there.
but I say that's why what I was bringing up, it was listed in 2 places on the warning.
Well, again, Irv, it's all in draft. It's going to get fixed, and you'll have a chance to look it over and peg those things for us that are need
No,
to
I
be
say-
fixed. Okay.
Brought up this case if you did it again that you wouldn't have both of them. That's all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Is there any other comments about that stuff pending town meeting yet? Is there any questions about what's coming down the road? Like I said, our timelines to get things in have been accelerated with all of this stuff, and we're plugging away at them just as quickly as we can.
Do you want the quotes for the printers?
The printers. Do we want to hear that? Do you want to make a decision on printing that tonight?
Well, only because I think that we want to try to get it into the printers by the last week of January, and we have a meeting, I think, was it January 26th?
Okay,
So that might be
why don't
coming
we
up
bring it
close.
up? We're talking about it. Let's bring it up. We have 2 quotes, one from the outfit that did it last year, which was,
Minuteman Press gave me, I believe, a quote, hold on one second, of 1690, so 1,690 for the same thing that we got last year, the same amount, which was, I believe, 750.
and then the other one was Howard Printing.
And the other one is Howard Printing, and they came in at 1,845.
So minute,
Their lead time seems to be a little bit quicker. So if we sign off on our first proof on 126 and the final approval is 129, they can have them ready to pick up on February 3rd.
okay.
And
The other one?
and
lead
the
time?
other one, Howard Printing, would need them by the 26th, and they said pick up by the end of the first week of February, so which I think was February 5th. So they're looking at a 2-week lead time versus a week and a couple of days, or a week.
Okay, and the one that was the week and a couple of days was the cheaper of the 2?
No, the
Minuteman?
week and a couple of days is a little bit more expensive. So last year we used Minutemen. The year before, I believe they'd used Howard Printing. I don't recall if there was like really any difference in the quality of them, but it seemed to go pretty smooth last year with Minuteman. I'm just worried about the lead time because things are accelerated.
Okay. What would you like to do? Either Minutemen or Howard Printing would be the motion.
So, Carl, if I heard you right, the difference between Minutemen and Howard is 2 days. You said February 3rd and February 5th.
Right. But we have a little bit, we can get the report to Howard, a day later or a couple of days later. The 29th is our final sign off.
And what's the difference? What was the difference in cost, one to the other?
I want to say,
$150.
yeah,
$150. So I guess the question would be, do we spend $150 more and have a little bit more flexibility, or make sure we hit our deadline marks perfectly for $150?
I kind of, either way.
Okay. Well, then how about a motion for Howard's is the one that gives us the better deadlines?
Yes.
If Howard's gives us the better deadlines, I'd entertain a motion to accept Howard's printing to do the town reports for 2021 town meeting.
Second.
So moved.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? More than what we've had? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Ayes have it. We'll go with Howard's. Okay. All right. Entertain a motion to adjourn the regular select board meeting and open a meeting or open a liquor control board meeting. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, so we're convening the liquor control board meeting. We have 2 permits. If I can get down, scroll down to where they are. First one that I have in front of me is Big Picture Farms. It's a first-class commercial kitchen license to sell malt and Venus beverages. They're here in
That's
town.
that's up on the upper end of Peaked Mountain Road.
Yep, Peaked Mountain Road. Are any of you aware of any complaints from this,
No.
about this? Has there been any issues in the past in dealing with them?
No.
No.
All
As I
those-
know.
Okay, so I'd entertain a motion to sign this warrant or this license for their renewal.
So moved.
And the second,
Second.
all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstention? Okay, carried. Second one we have is for
Amityville Store.
Harmonyville Store. I'm trying to get the foolish thing in front of me. And they're looking for a second-class license to sell malt and Venus beverages. Any problems that we've heard of from them?
No.
Any reason, is there any reason why we should deny this request that any of you have heard of?
Not that I know of.
All right, entertain a motion to approve second-class liquor license for Harmonyville Store.
So moved.
Aye.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carried. Entertain a motion to adjourn the liquor control, the Townshend Liquor Control Board and return to regular select board session.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we've done all of that. Hey, we're doing pretty well. I figured we'd still be, like 7:30 before we got to this point. Okay, at this point, we need to discuss a couple of things in executive session. One of them is attorney correspondence. So I would entertain a motion to go into executive session under 1 VSA 317C4 to review attorney correspondence.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. I'm going to pause the recording and I'm going to put the other folks that are in the meeting into the waiting room if they so choose. Just so you're aware, there won't be any decisions coming out of this, and we will probably adjourn shortly thereafter. Determination on the Kirkpatrick legal issue surrounding taxes.
So moved.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's one opposed. All right, so the ayes have it. I would entertain a motion to adjourn for the evening.
Got one question,
So
Sean.
moved.
Oh, hang on, wait a minute. Go ahead, Rob.
We didn't do anything with the snow goers, about the snowmobile club with giving them permission to use whatever they had.
Oh, I'm glad you flagged
designated for crossings and stuff like that.
I totally forgot about that. Hold off on that motion to adjourn. Let's go back onto that one. So we got the snow goers thing. Is this something that's been normal in the past?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it has.
Is there
But-
been-
One
ahead.
thing it had been in the past is they're not supposed to use, if there's any roads that are plowed, they're not supposed to use them till after they're plowed.
Okay. Let me get down to that thing. God, I'm glad you caught that, Rob. Totally forgot about that.
Oh, I was reminded by my wife heavily.
Well, thank you. Okay, so they're asking for Sawdust Alley, Overhill Road, Peaked Mountain Road, Riverdale Road, Taft Road, Jordan Hill Road, Simpson Brook, Back Wyndham, Deer Valley, Depot Road, and then roads that aren't plowed, East Hill Road from the southern end near Harmonyville up to Holt Farm, Ellenware Road, and what is it, Stifle Road? Off of
Stiefel.
Simpson, was Stiefel? Okay.
Yep.
Off of Simpson Brook. If there's been no opposition to this before and no complaints, no reason to deny them the ability to do this.
Now, long as any plowed road does not run that till after it's plowed.
Okay. So I'd entertain a motion to accept the West River Snow Goers Snowmobile Club's request for edge riding of these roads.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, now we'll go back. We have a motion and seconded to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. We are
You want
done.
me to tell the snow goers tomorrow?
Please do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, everyone.